You've been told spinach and potatoes are healthy, right? But what if I told you that reheating some of the healthiest foods in your kitchen, the ones we trust the most, could quietly spike your blood pressure? I'm Dr. John Maxwell. I've spent 38 years as a geriatric physician, working with thousands of seniors across America. And today I need to share something urgent with you. A doctor's warning about 5 everyday foods that are perfectly fine when fresh, but change chemically when reheated. And for older adults, those changes could be dangerous. We'll cover one vegetable that turns toxic when microwaved, a childhood favorite that can grow bacteria linked to blood pressure surges, and the one pantry staple most seniors overlook that's quietly raising sodium levels by 400% when reheated. I'll admit it, I used to reheat these foods myself without a second thought. I even told a patient once, leftovers are better the next day. I was wrong. But when I saw what was happening in my clinic, seniors eating healthy meals and still ending up with blood pressure readings in the danger zone, I had to take a second look. And what I found shocked me. Because the issue isn't just what we eat, it's how we reheat it. So if you're over 60 and you're serious about your heart health, stick with me because what you learn in the next few minutes could literally change how you eat for the rest of your life. No need to panic, you don't have to throw everything out. But you do need to understand the science behind what happens when you reheat certain foods, especially if you already take blood pressure medication. And we begin with a food you've probably had this week, spinach, but not the way you think. 1. Cook spinach. Let's start with spinach. Yes, spinach, the poster child for healthy eating. You've heard it for years. Eat your greens. And rightly so. Spinach is packed with fiber, magnesium, iron, and a key nutrient for your blood vessels, nitrates. But here's what most folks, and even some doctors, don't realize. When spinach is reheated, especially in the microwave, those helpful nitrates can break down into nitrosamines, a compound associated with increased blood pressure and even cancer risk. A 2018 study published in Food Chemistry found that reheated nitrate-rich vegetables like spinach, beets, and celery produced unstable nitrogen compounds under heat. And in older adults with slower metabolism or weaker kidney function, those compounds can linger in the body longer. Now don't get me wrong, spinach is still a superfood. But here's the key. Eat it fresh, don't reheat it. Instead of tossing leftovers in the microwave the next day, try using cold spinach in a salad or sauté it in small fresh batches. Spinach is rich in heart-friendly nitrates, supports vasodilation and better circulation when fresh. Protects your blood pressure. Instead of accidentally spiking it, just one small change, skipping the reheating, can help protect your heart and keep your pressure in check. And now that you know about spinach, let's talk about beets, another healthy food that can quietly flip against you when reheated. 2. Beets. Beets have gained a glowing reputation over the past decade, and rightly so. They're rich in nitrates, just like spinach, which help open up your blood vessels, improve circulation, and naturally lower blood pressure. In fact, I've recommended beets to dozens of my patients over the years, raw, roasted, even juiced. And many of them saw real improvements in their blood pressure within weeks. But here's where things take a turn. When you reheat beets, especially if they've been sitting in the fridge for more than a day, those same helpful nitrates can start to break down and oxidize. And just like with spinach, that can create unstable compounds like nitrosamines, the same ones linked to blood pressure spikes, oxidative stress, and in some cases, even cellular damage in older adults. Remember what we said about nitrates turning into nitrosamines under heat? Beets, when reheated, follow the exact same dangerous pathway. This means your heart-healthy leftover beets could quietly undo the very benefit you were counting on. And for seniors already managing hypertension or taking meds like ACE inhibitors, this can be especially risky. So what should you do? It's simple. Eat beets fresh or freshly roasted and enjoy them the same day. If you store them, skip the microwave, eat them cold or gently warm them on the stovetop at low heat, and only once. Because when prepared properly, beets are still one of the best natural allies for your cardiovascular health. But reheated the wrong way, they become a silent saboteur. Now, let's move to a food that's even more common and much more dangerous when stored wrong. Potatoes. Potatoes are a staple in almost every American home. Mashed, baked, roasted, they remind us of holidays, Sunday dinners, and Mom's kitchen. I remember growing up in Indiana. My mother would make the fluffiest mashed potatoes you've ever tasted. And every Monday we'd reheat the leftovers, thinking we were saving time and money. But here's the thing. What we considered smart and thrifty might have been doing something dangerous to our health. Leftover potatoes, especially when stored in the fridge and then reheated improperly, can develop a dangerous bacteria called Clostridium botulinum. This bacteria thrives in low-oxygen environments, like tightly sealed containers. And if those potatoes are reheated unevenly, like in a microwave, the bacteria may survive and begin producing toxins. Not only can this cause serious stomach upset, gas, and bloating, it may also trigger gut inflammation, which studies now show is directly linked to elevated blood pressure in seniors. So what's the safe way forward? If you've cooked potatoes, either eat them immediately or cool them quickly and store them in shallow containers. When reheating, use the stovetop or oven, not the microwave, and make sure they're heated evenly and thoroughly. Better yet, only make what you plan to eat that day. Reheated potatoes can harbor gut-damaging bacteria. That bacteria may quietly inflame your system and raise blood pressure. Use safe storage and proper reheating methods to protect your health. You don't have to give up your favorite foods, but as we age, it's these little tweaks, how we cook, how we store, how we reheat, that make all the difference. 4. Rice. Let me tell you a quick story about a patient of mine, Harold, 72 years old, retired postman, big heart, loves his jasmine rice with every meal. He'd cook a big batch once a week, store it in the rice cooker or leave it on the counter, and warm up a portion every night with dinner. Simple, routine, comfortable. Until one evening, he came in for his routine blood pressure check, and the numbers were off the charts. "Doc," he said, "I haven't changed a thing. I'm eating clean, same rice, same meals." And that's when I asked him a question that surprised him. "Harold, do you ever leave your rice out after cooking it?" See, most of us do it. We cook rice, leave it sitting out a few hours, maybe reheat it the next day. But here's the truth most people don't know. Cooked rice left at room temperature, even for just a few hours, can become a breeding ground for a nearly invisible but highly aggressive bacteria called Bacillus cereus. This isn't just about food poisoning. This bacteria produces spores that survive reheating, even in the microwave, and can lead to a trifecta of symptoms many seniors shrug off as just aging. Bloating, sudden blood pressure spikes, unpredictable blood sugar crashes. A 2019 study from the Journal of Food Protection confirmed that reheated rice containing B. cereus spores often escapes detection, especially in older adults whose gut flora is already compromised. It's simple, but important. Cool rice quickly after cooking, within an hour. Store it in the fridge, below 40 degrees Fahrenheit in shallow containers. When reheating, make sure it's steaming hot all the way through, or better yet, cook only what you'll eat that day. Remember, the threat isn't in the rice itself, but in the routine we follow without realizing the risks. Harold made that one small shift, and guess what? His blood pressure dropped by 12 points within a few weeks. No new meds, just smarter habits. And now, for the final food on our list. It's the most common and the most deceptive. Canned foods. You'll want to hear this. Let's talk about something we all have tucked away in our cabinets. Canned foods, canned soups, beans, vegetables. They've been kitchen staples for decades. And for good reason. They're convenient, inexpensive, and long-lasting. But behind that convenience, there's a hidden danger that most folks don't even think to look for. Flip over almost any can of soup or green beans and look at the sodium content. Many of them contain over 1,000 milligrams of sodium in just one serving. Now here's the catch. Most cans contain 2 or more servings, and we often eat the whole thing. That means in one sitting, you could be consuming 2,000 to 2,400 milligrams of sodium, which is the entire daily. And here's something most people don't realize. When you reheat canned foods, especially in the microwave or on the stovetop uncovered, The water content often evaporates slightly, which concentrates the salt even more. That's how sodium sneaks into your bloodstream, silently raising your blood pressure with each bite. Canned foods are shelf-stable and fast, but hidden sodium loads overwhelm older kidneys and constrict blood vessels. Choosing low-sodium alternatives protects your heart and keeps your pressure steady. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Doc, I've been eating canned soup since I was 30. And I understand, this isn't about blame, it's about legacy. It's about making sure you're around, strong, steady, and independent for the moments that matter most. So next time you reach for a can, look for low sodium or no salt added labels. Drain and rinse vegetables. And whenever possible, cook fresh or frozen. Because every bite we take in this chapter of life is a chance to protect our heart, our energy, and our future. You don't have to give up canned food, just upgrade how you choose and prepare it. And now that we've covered the 5 foods, let's tie it all together, because what I'm about to share might change how you see every leftover meal from now on. As we age, even healthy habits need an upgrade. We've spent decades doing things a certain way, saving leftovers, trusting food labels, reheating meals without a second thought. But the truth is, our bodies at 60, 70, and beyond don't process food the way they did at 30. And what used to be harmless might quietly be placing stress on the one organ that carries us through it all, the heart. Today we talked about 5 everyday foods, spinach, beets, potatoes, rice, and canned goods, that most people believe are healthy, and they can be. But how we prepare them, especially when reheated, can make the difference between healing and harm. So the next time you stand at your fridge with a container of leftovers or pop open a can of soup, just pause for a moment and ask, is this helping or harming my heart? That one moment of awareness could be the reason your blood pressure stays in check, the reason you sleep better, the reason you feel steadier and safer in your own body. You don't need to overhaul your diet. You don't need to give up your favorite foods. You just need to honor your body, the same way it's carried you all these years. Because this chapter of life isn't about restriction. It's about wisdom, prevention, dignity, and choosing the kind of health that lets you laugh louder, love longer, and be there, fully present for the moments that matter most. If this video helped you, I'd be honored if you shared it with a friend, a sibling, or someone you love. Because heart health isn't just personal, it's generational. And if you want more tips on aging well, eating smart, and protecting your legacy, click that subscribe button and join our growing community of seniors who choose strength through knowledge. I'm Dr. John Maxwell, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of your heart. It's taken care of you for a long time.